Hi, my name is Adriel William, and today's video is for all the applicants who are preparing for interviews, whether it's dentist school interview for UOP, for USC, or for any other school where you are going in person and you have to give interview. And one of the most important factor that's going to come into play is your confidence level. You might call it your charisma, your persuasiveness, your physical presence, whatever you want to say, but your confidence is going to matter a lot. Now, people confuse one thing, that just because you know a lot of dentistry or you have a lot of knowledge or maybe you can speak English, that allows you to present yourself more confident. But I don't think that's the truth. That's a very low resolution explanation that if I know a lot of books, if I know a lot of information, that will present me as a very charismatic or very confident person. And especially when it comes to dentist school interviews, I don't think that's true. Because by the end of the day, they are not going to ask you what's the line angle in a class 2. They will ask you, tell me about yourself, what kind of a person you are. And you might say a lot about yourself, but people don't listen to words. They look at your body language, how you say it. And one thing I'll tell you, I've been observing a lot of presidential campaigns, actors. I try to see how theater and art work, and along with that comes in psychological factor that your ability to influence other people, how they feel when you speak, when you talk, when you present your story, that's what matters a lot. A lot of great people who were really good orators, people who are really good salesmen, people who have very strong presence, including con artists. People with all of these different criteria actually have one thing in common, that they are very confident people and they never get influenced by other people easily. So imagine if you're a candidate, you're going to be walking into USC, UOP, Buffalo, or any other school in the future, and you will be walking in there. Number one thing I tell everybody, that your confidence level matters a lot on how you present yourself. So even before you have the interview, I tell people, like when I was preparing for interviews, like a week ago, 10 days ago, I would start mentally preparing myself, literally like a boxing match or a cricket match. You have to start playing in your head how it's going to be, how I'm going to walk, how I'm going to look. And one thing that really helps you is if you can take some time out and do some exercise, maybe put on some music, do some meditation. But I usually say exercise because when you start doing exercise, your body posture, the way you stand, the way you speak, keeping your head straight and your shoulders back a little bit, not too much like a soldier, but somewhat like a confident person. When you stand, your body's breathing capacity and its overall physiology changes. That allows you to present yourself more confident. Now, if you didn't hear what I say, go back, rewind and hear what I said. Because during your interviews or even day before that, if you start to do exercise, yoga, or some kind of meditation and physically present your posture better, that will allow you to control your stress level. The other thing that really affects people's confidence is that during the day of the interview, when they walk in, they've been so much stressed over the past couple of days. They've been taking flights, they've been overworrying, they maybe lost some money, maybe lost their charges, something bad happened, they had to wake up at 5, they were staying in a hotel where they did not get a good sleep, and a lot of the stress built up, and now they go to a new building and there are like 10 other immigrants who are standing in there and everybody's anxious, and all of that anxiety becomes a cloud of stress on you, and you just start to act like the other people. I personally, whenever I used to have interviews, I would put headphones in my ear, listening to the music that really calms me down or really gives me high energy. I would listen to it and I would zone out everybody. In my head, I would start thinking that this is my time and I'm going to shine. Whether I get accepted or not, I don't care. But I'm going to walk in and they should remember who Adriel William is. And that's the thought process I had. Now, I'll tell you example of individuals who contact me a lot. Most of my viewers or people who take help or people who reach out to me are females, and a lot of them are mothers. And I personally have learned over time working with people is that females are comparatively different as compared to a male, psychologically, and especially who became mothers, had a gap, who were taking care of their family and were not in professional life. Their capability to deal with worldly stress is very different. It takes some time to get out of the house and go back into the professional world and gather all of that confidence and even to be confident in yourself. And I can understand now because I've tried to read psychology and heard about postpartum and all of these different factors, how hormones can affect you psychologically. And I now believe it's true and it should be addressed, and you should be preparing well if you're dealing with all of this. And one key thing I'll say is you need to start doing some kinds of physical activity at home, whether it's skipping a rope, whether it's looking at some video and doing push-up, but you want to build that confidence in yourself that chemically changes you. That's very important. The other thing is once you start to work on that and physically you feel better, you're going to start to feel you like your clothes, you like the way you look. And that also creates a positive impact into your brain. The other thing I'll tell you, if you got an invite and you're super stressed out, remember by the end of the day, they are calling the people who are the cream of the crowd. So about 1,000 to 1,200 people are applying, and they would invite about 100 people or 120 people. And these 120 people are the cream, are the top people. And so if you've been invited, you're pretty much the cream of the crowd. You're one of the most lucrative or most wanted candidates that they like to bring on board and talk. So you need to tell yourself there is something in my paperwork that they like, and I'm actually amongst few of the lucky ones that God have given opportunity to go and sit in this interview. Whether I get accepted or not, it's up to God, but I'm going to utilize this opportunity and I'm going to present myself well. One thing I'll again tell you, when it comes to confidence, stop thinking about the results because you can't control it. What you can control is your own behavior and how you're going to act out in that minute. The other thing I've learned that usually young people or people who recently migrated to US think if they can speak English or maybe they can speak very fast, they will look more confident. It might on the superficial level for a young person, but you're going in to talk to professionals, people who are very mature, people who have seen the world. And I think one of the key things that can really build your confidence, first of all, is the hard work you have done in your life, the way you have survived. Now, maybe you are somebody who's a mother or even a male person who's been doing odd job for a couple of years or stayed at home taking care of their family and haven't done anything big professionally. There was a time in my life I wasn't doing anything big professionally because I was taking care of my personal matters, and it happens. But you might not be able to explain it to them how difficult it is to take care of a special child at home. But what you can do is internally have this dialogue with yourself that even though this person or this interviewer doesn't know the hardship that I went through, but I know I went through them, I survived, and I'm sitting up here and I'm going to present myself in a confident way because if I survive that, I'm going to survive this. And this is the kind of mental aptitude you want to have. When I used to be in dentist school, I went for externships in different oral surgery places. Denver Health, I went to University of Cincinnati. And I would just sneak in the OR and wherever I feel like this is a surgeon I can talk to or they are at a time where they can answer my question, I would ask them, what makes a good surgeon? I would ask them. And some people would say reading a lot of books or having a lot of OR time, like doing a lot of clinical work. But personally, to be honest, what I've figured out after researching a lot is not just your skills, it's not your knowledge, it's actually your aptitude, your behavior, your confidence. your ability to think about yourself in a way that I will get the job done. One way or another, I will get it done. And that's the kind of attitude you want to have. And it might sound delusional, and I'm not saying you need to be impractical. You need to be pragmatic. You need to think sensibly. You need to be rational. But internally, you should also remember that when God's plan is in play, the human mind can't contemplate that. We as humans can't understand how the big cosmos work. We can only understand simple thing, how this YouTube works or how this invitation or this email works. But we can't understand the bigger plans. And by the end of the day, you should have that built-in trust. And I tell myself all the time, maybe I might not be the most capable person. I might not be the most skilled. I might not be the prettiest, the tallest, the strongest. But whatever it is, whatever I'm lacking, by the end of the day, if God wants me to get there, I will, and nobody can stop me. And that's the attitude you want to have. And this is a discussion you need to have with yourself and your creator. And I personally feel, even if you're an atheist or you feel like I'm giving you bullcrap, by the end of the day, knowing that there is a bigger cosmos that's working and that's in play, that really gives you a sense of security. Now, practically, number one thing I mentioned was that your ability to do some physical activity and gaining that changing your internal ecosystem and having more serotonin, keeping your cortisol level low, having good sleep, talking to positive people, that's all of that stuff help. The second thing that will help you is you want to present yourself good. Now, you might say, Adriel, I can't buy like a $500 suit at this time and go in like a rock star or a TV anchor in my interview. And I understand. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I wouldn't at that time. But whatever you're capable of, if you're capable of buying $20 of shirt, or if you're capable of buying $100 of shirt, whatever you're capable of, go and find the best you can in your resources, try it on, look yourself in the mirror, and get comfortable under your own skin. People, when I'll tell you about myself, when I did not used to wear a lot of formal clothing, if I would wear it like once a year or twice a year, when I would wear it, I would feel awkward. I will keep fixing it. I will keep acting like I'm wearing something that I'm not comfortable. And if I'm not comfortable, the other person can see it too. So what you want to do is start wearing your formal clothing and try to see in the mirror, talk to people, and see how you can act out. That really helps. And it's not just your clothing. By the end of the day, if I can say it for men mostly, like the way you groom yourself, the way you present yourself, it matters a lot. Your hygiene matters a lot. And as I'm not going to give any tips to women because I believe women are better at this. I hope so they are. But by the end of the day, these small things really change your presentation. And when you internally feel a difference in your confidence too. The other thing is, one thing that will really allow you to be confident in your interview is being authentic. I personally feel a lot of confidence or charisma comes from being authentic with people, knowing who you are and even talking about your weakness. I personally feel as soon as if you're going in for an interview, go and say hi to the people in front of you. Don't hold yourself back. Don't try to be scared. If you're walking in, stand straight and say hi to people, all right? But you also want to be careful. You don't want to consume their negative energy. It's fine. If you're stressed out, I'm not worried. I just want to be positive. I want to say hi. I'm confident where I am in life, and I'll make it happen. That's the kind of thought process you want to have. And when you sit down in your interview, when you prepared all your answers, you want to be authentic about yourself. You want to tell them about yourself, a little bit about your personal side or your weak side, and show how it makes you a better human being. Because people connect not to your strength. Like if I say, oh, I can do this kind of procedure and I drive this and I live here and all of that stuff, you might say like, okay, you're not just showing off about how big you are or how rich you are or blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, if I tell you I came in as an immigrant and I worked all the weird jobs that I could possibly get, and I did all the hard work I could, and I still continue to do it to become a better man every day. And if I share my story in that way, the other person can feel that you're an authentic human being. And that's where they connect with you. And that's where you gain that confidence and that trust that makes you a more charismatic person. The other thing about charismatic people is that they will always remember through the struggles that they came through. And that's what gives them a very strong confidence. I encourage people at times to even think about your family history. Your parents, maybe even if you were born as a landlord or had a lot of money and your grandfather was a prince or nawab or somewhere, still there must be a lot of hardship that your father or your siblings or you dealt with. There must be some emotional, psychological, financial hardship that you have gone through. And you need to capitalize on them and remember that if you went through them and you survived, that should be like a cushion or like a push for you that if I survive that, I can survive this difficult time as well. And I think these are some of the small things that really give you confidence. Again, I always tell people, you want to be in an attire where you're comfortable. Your shoes, your clothing shouldn't be too tight. It shouldn't be too loose. You should wear it so you're confident. The second thing that really helps is your sleep. I say this all the time. Your sleep matters a lot. You want to work on it. You want to exercise. You want to drink a lot of water weeks and months ago. Start training your life. One of the things I'll say, start training yourself like you're a professional athlete. Have a regiment in your life. If you drink or you smoke, you might want to cut down on it. Now, you might not drink or smoke. Maybe you're just a foodie person. And if you feel like you can cut down on some of the fat and be a little bit more healthy, that could help. If you feel like hygiene is an area where you can improve, do that. And it's a consistent process. If I'm sitting here and talking about it, means that I've conquered all of it. No, I haven't. I'm fighting my demons every day. There's some temptation. There's something that you want to improve every day. And life is a journey. That's how you keep working on it and keep getting better. And I hope these small tips helps you, because by the end of the day, always remember, it's not about what you say, it's more about how you say it and how you feel when you say it, because that's when the other person will start feeling it too. I hope this video helps you, and if you like it, do hit the like button. Do kindly subscribe to the channel, share it with your other friends as well. I would highly appreciate if you write something in the comment box. If you don't like this, if you don't like my video, or if you don't like something, you're more than welcome to write it, because that really helps the algorithm and have other dentists like you watch this video. So I appreciate that, and we'll see you in a more meaningful video. Thank you.